This is BarCode, a cocktail-powered podcast that dives deep into the personalities, criminals, and heroes that have come to define security across the globe. Please join our host, Chris Landon, for another wild foray into the incredible world of humans and how they intertwine with today's modern technology. We hope you enjoy today's episode.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Activate.
Welcome to BarCode. I'm your host, Chris Landon, and today's guest is someone who truly spans the spectrum of technology. By day, he's a DevOps engineer, but his journey began over 25 years ago with a screwdriver in hand, moving from help desk to systems administration, then on to network engineering, before curiosity pulled him into the realms of cybersecurity. And along the way, he's become an elite community builder, helping to organize BSides Singapore for the past 6 years. Sonik, aka Kinosa, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, Chris, thank you. Thank you for welcoming me to the show, man. I really appreciate it. It's fun. I heard so much about, BarCode, and, we were back in Vegas and we hung out, and man, it's so much fun. And thank you for welcoming me, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for joining me, man. We did get to hang out a few weeks ago at CyberSecCon, which was awesome, which is your territory, man. And just thank you for the hospitality that you showed me. I thought it was an excellent conference, and
For sure, no problem, man. I mean, it's my pleasure as well to to play the host, and welcome any newcomers to the CUSAC community, now known as going to be known as
CyberSecCon. Yes.
CyberSecCon. There you go. And it's really nice, newcomers to the place, and show them around and what it's like, and get a feel of it. Attend all the talks, attend all the workshops. I think there were a couple of workshops, and and get some information, get some tidbits, and also network and learn more about the community.
Yes. I agree, man.
And it was fun though. This year was a bit different because we did a podcast as well over there. We got into a podcast room, and that was a new experience as well. And apart from attending all the other talks, I got to deliver my talk as well for the third time, and counting. But overall, I mean, CyberSecCon is very near and dear to my heart. Ever since I started attending it. At one point in time, I was, while watching all the other speakers and cybersec practitioners, sharing their knowledge and to the community, and every time I attend a talk over there, I come back feeling like, hey, there was this information that I learned off from there, that I could even participate and share my fair share of experience and knowledge, and to add to the pool. So and at one point in time, it got me thinking, can I even do a talk? Will I be able to pull it off?
Mm-hmm.
And then by the first and second time that I attended, it was already in my mind, if I could do this. And then slowly I started piecing it together. But before that, I came across an individual by the name of Len Noe, who now we all know as transhuman, with the documentary of I Am Machine. But before then, when I was first attending his talk, I didn't even know Len had all of this microchips in his hand. And
was this his talk at BSides Singapore?
No, this was his talk at CyberSecCon.
Oh, at CyberSecCon. Okay.
CyberSecCon, but back when it was at the Marriott.
Okay.
And then I went in and I sat down. And as soon as he got up on stage and started showing on the slides and what he could do and what he has done and what he's doing and how he was doing and how he was circumventing security and, hey, give me your phone. I'll have your phone, I have security unlock in your phone. I'll compromise your phone in 20 seconds, 30 seconds, And believe it or not, my mind raced like 100 miles an hour. I was like, God, what have they unleashed? There should be a tail behind this guy. They should not let him out of his sight.
So seeing that talk, I guess, was that was inspirational for you to start
That was a
presentations?
start. Yeah, that was a start. That was a start. I was looking, like
or start doing. I guess that was the inspiration for you to start doing more public speaking then.
Exactly. But even then, I was still apprehensive. I wasn't so much, like should I or shouldn't I? It was more like what would be interesting to deliver and get the audience to listen, ask questions, and have a takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
So that was more of my thought process. Will this be good enough for that? So yeah, and then after that, I started putting the pieces together for a talk. The first talk, so you want to hack, but where do you start? But that wasn't exactly the topic that I started with. And it was a different topic, I can't remember right now, but it was more along the line. So you want to hack?
Gotcha.
I think that was along that line.
Okay.
And then Len kind of gave me advice. I reached out to Len. That was my slow introduction and receiving guidance from Len. And off and on, I would contact him through Twitter and whatnot. That's how I got to know him. And then I showed him my presentation, like, hey, this is what I think, And so, he kind of guided me and, told me he's a very experienced man, He's been doing this and he's well traveled. And I'm just blessed that I got guidance from a very experienced person who did not hold back and who just opened up his space and showed me like, hey, this is, and gave me pointers like, this is what you want to avoid, this is what you want to do, this is what you want to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But didn't get so much so into like the narrative, like this is exactly what you need to say,
exactly.
This is how you need to, but just drop hints here and there, and then I formed it up, and before you know it, I gave my first talk, and and believe it or not, it was a packed room. It was exciting, heart thumping. You imagine your first talk and it's a packed room.
Yeah. I don't think regardless how prepared you are, you're still nervous. I mean, I think that...
I mean, in every talk, you're always nervous. No matter how many times you do it, you would feel the nervousness every time you step on stage, and the audience, looking at the audience. There's always this advice, like try to look at the room full of people who are without clothes.
Yeah.
It's always the advice that that you're always given and whatnot. Yeah. But but it's different. Like when you step on stage and you start to deliver, there's several thought process that runs in your mind as you're delivering, and as you're reading, and as you're delivering the content and delivering what you've been preparing and delivering the message that you want to get across, that you've been preparing all this while, and you have mixed thought process going on in your mind, and like, but you're also speaking at the same time. So
exactly. Yeah, I just started more public speaking about a year ago, and Len also helped me prepare for that. And he's such a veteran and such a professional when it comes to public speaking that he definitely gave me advice that I took and that helped me. Again, doesn't really stop the nervousness, but I think that comes more with repetition. I think over this past year, I've been doing more public speaking, and I feel like my rhythm's getting better at presenting.
Nice.
And so I do owe that to him, because when I went in, I knew my content, but there's a difference with knowing your content and knowing how to deliver that content to
exactly.
Your audience.
Exactly. And I find like that's a skill set.
Yes.
That doesn't come overnight. It comes with practice.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's also it's also you, because I feel like with anything, there's so much practice that you can do, but ultimately it's always in your hands, in how you get it across, how you deliver, get a control of your emotions. But all that said and done, it's still it always feels like a first time,
Yeah.
nevertheless. Yeah.
So I met you when we were filming the documentary I Am Machine, which we actually released in August in Vegas. Was that the first time you've ever been interviewed for a documentary like that? And talk me through like your perspective of filming a documentary like that.
Oh wow, that feeling was a really, really big wow moment. Because the thing is, like from the moment that we started preparing for the interview, and I was told that I'm going to be interviewed, and it didn't dawn on me that hard until I showed up at the set, and slowly everything was like, this is happening, this is happening, it's going to happen. And then before you know it, you're in front of the camera, and you're starting to talk, and you're starting to speak, and preparing the skill again. This is again like public speaking kind of thing,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
and it's your skill. How are you able to on your feet be able to talk and on a topic that is just fresh. You're just given then and there, and you're given like you have in your mind you're like, I have 30 seconds to say something or less. I mean, sorry, I have less than 30 seconds to prepare in my mind and say something and deliver and tell a cool story, as what Len would say. So it was a challenge. Some people would say, some people would be like, hey, you know this, Len, you can talk through this, no problem. Yeah, you can talk through this.
Yeah.
But the thing is, how are you going to put it in a way where, again, your delivery,
Right.
your presentation? Because the thing is, as I was talking, in my mind, it was going like, you're not just saying this for, the people that are around there. This is going to go, it's going to go onto a big screen. Everyone is going to see this. You never know that from the big screen, this is going to go global. It might go local, and then you might go global. So the delivery is that skill, and into how you're going to, project what your ideas and what you want to say.
Yeah.
So after all said and done, and after we filmed it, and then the editing by our dear Kevin Pentecost. But yeah, like the moment it was on, it cast it on screen, the feeling was definitely phenomenal. I never imagined that it'd be projected onto a big screen and everyone is sitting and watching. And from the moment Len started speaking and about his life, and then you interviewed his dad, and then several others, and then and then parts of Mike, and then Kevin, and myself included.
Yes.
And
yep.
James as well. So watching all of that, was just a phenomenal moment. And like sitting in Vegas watching myself on the documentary was something that I never imagined would happen.
Oh
And
man,
then,
it was great, man, and
yeah,
you did phenomenal. For just walking in, being interviewed, you didn't know what was coming your way.
Oh no,
the lights cut on, and so you handled that really well, and you definitely added, an angle to
still
the
unbelievable,
documentary.
still unbelievable. But it took time to sink in.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If I could shape the takeaway from that, but I want people to walk out feeling the human side of technology from that. And viewers who are watching this podcast right now, and if at at some point in time you're going to watch the transhuman documentary, this is my message. When you walk away from watching that documentary, I want you to walk out feeling the human side of technology, because there's so much, there's a lot of content, there's a lot of message inside that documentary. And it's not just shiny gears or scary risk and whatnot, but the fact that our story, our choices, and communities is what giving tech meaning. And if viewers left with a sense that they too can shape the future without losing themselves, I think that would be a really cool message.
And we just got picked up by 2 film festivals, which is major news. So we're excited.
That is again phenomenal. By far. Like it when I first heard that, like.
Tell me a little bit about what you've been up to recently. I just saw that you are now an official associate of the Borg Radio Hour. So tell us what that's all about, and what excites you about that endeavor.
It's a fun experience for now. I've just recently joined the Borg Radio Hour, so we have 2 episodes that's already out, and we have plans for more episodes to come. So there's going to be an episode every month until January, and then there'll be short, minute bites and whatnot. And so yeah, watch that space. Like YouTube, the Borg Radio Hour. It's not just a show. It's more of it's gathering point for conversation that don't usually happen on stage and at conferences, but then you get to explore the intersections of tech, culture, and people in a raw, unfiltered way. So ever since then, brought out about the idea, hey, I have the Borg Radio Hour, and I initiated as well. I'm like, hey, you think it'll be cool? Again, Len being Len, very open and receptive. And he was like, yeah, let's do this, And it's not only the Borg Radio Hour. I mean, we're also promoting the Hacker 213 brand.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it's exciting. I was very happy, and I am happy.
Yeah.
And see, that's why it's always a thought process going around this, so when I'm happy just being part of this, being a part of the Borg Radio Hour, and also it also is going to add to the experience and the mileage as I'm moving along, because everything is all about experience. So new experiences comes new knowledge.
So I know that you're very involved with the CyberSecCon community. You ran BSides, which is a community-based conference. We're also both part of the infamous Turnt crew that that recently was in Vegas together. Why do you think, personal connections and informal networks like Turnt crew, why do those connections matter so much for those in this industry?
It makes it for a very informal network, like, in that sense, because the thing is they are safe spaces, like
yes.
you share your wins, your struggles, and even failures without judgment. So, those are the kind of friendship that keeps us grounded. And at the same time, they remind us that behind, and here's a pun and a joke to that, behind every CVE or exploit tools, is a human that's trying to make sense of it all. But the thing is, in Vegas with the Turnt crew, it's proof that people side of the industry is the glue that binds us together. And I mean, we can talk tools and exploits all day, but at the end of it, it's the friendship and networks that keeps us sane. The informal circles are the one that you can be yourself. So that's how it is. I find with the Turnt crew, and the way this has evolved. Again, I'm just blessed and grateful for being inside within the circle of Turnt crew, and to even be given an opportunity where I could even participate. We did a lot of things over there.
Yeah. We also have a side channel that we run called Turnt Crew that you always open a day and close a day with your daily affirmations.
Affirmations, yeah.
Yeah, where did that come from?
I've been taught along the way, like growing up. Well, actually not growing up, but I've met some people who were spiritual, who taught me about meditative and spiritual control. And I'm just blessed meeting my wife, who's shared before her. I mean, I've gotten into it, but she's the one that taught me a thing or two about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm grateful for that. And and ever since that, I've started to imbibe that in my daily practice. to have daily affirmations, positive thoughts, and it's not an overnight kind of thing. It's work in progress. It has helped. It helps you to rewire and basically condition your own thought and your own narrative that goes on in your head. And the more you condition this, the better it gets. You are waking up to motivational and inspirational words that you see that will help you go about your day. So what but and I'm over here, I'm like, why am I keeping this for myself? Let's share this out. So that's how it came about, and it started with messages. Initially it started where we were just doing the countdown to DEF CON.
Okay.
And as soon as we came back, and my thought was like, how do we do? I mean, like, it doesn't end here. I just want to continue this, and share this in what better way. And then I was like, okay, let's put out a good morning message, but we also put in some affirmations in there. So you never know who the message might touch.
Yeah, for sure. It's
Yeah.
definitely positivity when you read it.
Oh yeah.
and,
I mean,
I appreciate when you send it.
you do.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Thanks, man. Thanks. That means a lot.
I might not
man.
reply every single time, but I do.
I mean,
read it.
I'm not expecting the replies and whatnot, but the fact that the message goes out every day, both morning and evening, and if it helps make someone's day, at least one person, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. No, keep doing it for sure.
Thank
and
you.
Then you also mentioned meditation. So is that something that you do as well?
I try. I try to meditate where I get time. But yeah.
What have you found that has helped you with? Does it help with your stress level? Does it help with?
It does help with not only stress level, but it also helps to control your thought process, control your thoughts. I'm pretty sure you've seen that. Like sometimes when you go, if you scroll down through motivational and inspirational talks, it's always a common message where it says, control your thoughts. Your thoughts become feeling, and your feelings goes out, and it manifests. I try, but where I can't, like prayer becomes my meditation. My daily prayer becomes meditation, and I that's how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of us get caught up with the day-to-day stress, and ultimately it takes, it takes a toll on many people and starts to weigh people down.
Yep. Well, what are your? I mean, do you meditate as well?
I don't.
Okay.
You had mentioned it to me in the past, and it's something that I wouldn't be opposed to trying.
But it's work in progress.
Yeah.
It's definitely not something that comes overnight.
Right.
Like a friend of mine shared with me, you got to be into it. When you're doing something, or your thought in your mind, you got to be into that thing.
Yeah.
And that was a very important message that I got, that I learned as well along my journey.
Sonik, tell me a little bit about you. If you don't mind, sort of share that story of how you stepped into the security field and what keeps you going in it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, first things first, my name is Amar Sonik. A lot of people call me Sonic, and there's always that joke, hey, are you Sonic the Hedgehog? Oh, are you Sonic the Hashhog?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, that's the nick that Len kind of stuck it on me. He's even put that in the book.
So Kinosa, how did you get Kinosa?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. Kinosa is, if you look at it really closely, Kinosa is Sonic backwards.
Oh.
Yeah, so A Sonic, so the A is my first name. This is the initial of my first name. So initially, when I first stumbled upon it, I was thinking, like, hey, I reversed the name, and it was just Kinosa, and I was like, and then I just put the A on it, and then it was Kinosa. I was like, yeah,
I like it.
That works. But yeah, like that's how it started, and then I started, then I was like, yeah, this was just going to be my hacker handle.
Yeah.
So with a K1 N0 S4, so lead speak. And
now
then
you grew up in Singapore?
Yeah, I grew up in Singapore.
Okay.
And then yeah.
Were you getting like? Tell me about your sort of your upbringing and being involved with technology. Were you always hands on technology even growing up, or when did that start for you?
Oh, yeah. Initially, when I first got into technology, I wasn't really into technology kind of thing. I was more, like, yeah, this is a cool app. Let's try this app. Oh, this is this. And then I was just blessed with, meeting a great mentor who kind of showed me the ropes and, showed me, like, behind the scenes what you can do with the computer with both hardware. And back then I was, it was Windows 3.1, how to soup up a Windows 3.1, how to really trick it out and then make your CPU lock over time and then make your how to get it how to save stuff on your RAM and how to tweak your RAMs and how to mess with the AutoX batch file and then all those fun stuff. And then slowly as it got along, my first taste on security was I got introduced to a book called Cyberpunk. That book was a paperback back then, and it had 3 stories inside there. The first story was that we all come to know of Kevin Mitnick. That was my first intro to security, and then reading about Kevin Mitnick, how he got into computers, how he was a phone freaker, and how he was able to get into phone lines, stay in phone lines, tap into phone lines, made an unbillable number to himself. And even, I think I remember, like it was somewhere in the book where he was talking to an operator where he was telling the operator was trying to reach back to him, and he was telling the operator, giving the operator his phone number, and his phone number had a half in it. He was telling the operator, "Do you know how to dial that half, ma'am?" And then fast forward, like into the hacking scene, made it to the forefront, and then all the tools started showing up online. One of the other tools that caught my gaze was Metasploit, made famous by H.D. Moore. And then I didn't know how Metasploit came about until I heard Dr. Doherty's in the interview about him and how he came about. That was a very interesting story. And when I met H.D. Moore, and I could put the two and two together and have conversations with him. And but yeah, that was also part of my journey on how I was trying to dabble with security. Back then, if you realize there wasn't really a school for hacking. There was no, there was no training. There was no, like you would download stuff from the billboard. Sorry, from the BBS board, not billboard. Sorry. And then you interact with the forums and the communities within the BBS bulletin boards, download stuff, and then try it out. And yeah, I think I remember before Backtrack, I remember getting hold of a CD called Aggressor.
Aggressor.
Yeah, it's called Aggressor, if I'm not mistaken.
So this predates Backtrack.
This predates Backtrack.
Okay.
And there was a lot of tools on that, and then there was Whoopix.
Okay.
It was based on Slackware. And it was the Auditor Security, it was parked under the Auditor Security Collection Live CD. And then by circling that, that was how I started using, security tools.
Did you have someone that you knew that was in the field already that was helping educate you on how to use these tools, or were you just self-taught?
I was just self-taught, but also had like meeting up with friends who shared similar interests. They would all try this, but yeah, like you would just pop the CD, and back then you pop CD in and click around and be like, okay, I wonder what this tool does. I wonder what this tool does, and then you're just exploring.
Yeah,
it's different right now where you have a whole environment where it's set up, kind of sandbox environment. You can play around, and there's plenty of tutorials to refer to that guides you step by step on how you can use the tools that you see right now. What's even better right now is with the introduction of AI. So would you? I mean, like, I'm pretty sure you would agree with me with the introduction of AI right now. It puts you ahead of the curve for experienced people, but it also serves someone who's new to who wants to get into the playing field of security, where if they don't have specific training around that, all they have to do is just throw it into AI and have AI spit it out step by step on how to use the tool and what to test it on, how to go about testing it.
Yes.
So like, it's good, but it also has its security risk as well, because like, I've made this in my talk. You've heard the talk that without the guardrails, it's dangerous.
It's scary.
Oh
It
yeah,
can-
oh yeah, oh
It can
yeah.
definitely be scary.
And here's a fun fact: I'm a musician as well.
Oh yeah, what do you play?
I play the North Indian percussion called tabla.
Okay.
Yeah, I studied that since the age of 8.
Wow. Okay.
I had a teacher by the age of 11, and then started my lessons, and then progressed on and got enrolled to a performing arts school, and then I graduated in classical tabla.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still play?
I play, but right now with the kids and all, it's that's a rarity. But I still try to play.
How has that been? Has that been therapeutic for you too? Sort of having that outlet?
Oh yeah. Playing, because the thing is, you have the knowledge with you and you try to practice. Yeah, but you try to practice when you can.
Definitely, man. I definitely want to see it. So I want to switch gears for a moment. Since this is BarCode, I have to ask you, what's the best bar? And I know you don't drink, so let's just say best cafe, right, or espresso bar.
Okay.
That you've ever been to in your travels, whether it's here, whether it's in Singapore. Talk about the best place that you've ever been to, and then what made it stand out and what made it unique.
For me, it was less about the drink, but more around the vibes of it. This, I think this was back in Singapore. There was this small espresso bar that I stumbled in, and it was a tiny place, barely, like 3 tables, and but the amazing part is the barista knew everyone's name who were the regular over there. And what made it stand out was in the coffee. It was, though it was great, it was more of the sense of the community.
All right, so I just heard last call here. You got time for one more?
Yeah, sure.
All right. If you were to open your own cybersecurity themed coffee shop, what would the name be, and what would your signature drink be called?
I think I'd probably call it a sandbox.
Love that.
It's, and the reason why I choose that is because it's a place where you can just safely experiment with it, like break things, and like put it back together, and there will be a thing, and then the signature drink, 0 day.
0 day. Is that an espresso shot?
It looks innocent, maybe like a cold brew kind of thing.
Okay.
But it packs a hidden punch.
Nice.
And then you don't see it coming until it hits you.
You don't see it coming until it hits you.
Yeah.
I love that,
just
man.
like the exploits
Yes.
you all worry about.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's put it on the menu.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Sonik, I appreciate your time, man. Thanks for stopping by. It was great catching up with you.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, man. For those that are listening to this, where can they find you and connect with you online?
Well, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Connect with me on Twitter, Substack. Yeah, those are the 3 main places you can connect with me.
Cool, man. All right, well, take care, man. I'm sure I'll see you soon on the Turn Crew chat.
All right, man. Nice one.
Take care.